Ready? Hit it.
Yep, here he comes. Riding his trusted steed through the Sierra foothills as he brings you the news.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
He calls himself
Charlie!
What you doing, Charlie?
Sorry, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. There you are. Look how cute you are. Yeah.
Hey, Charlie. What's with the dark glasses?
And now, here he is, a man of God, living in a world of Disney.
Ow, Charlie!
Charlie Simons.
Charlie bit me.
Well, hello, my friend. Yes, I am Charlie Simons, talking about two things you're never supposed to talk about, religion and politics. And this is going to be something different today. This is going to be very different. I'm going to take you along in the recording of a promotional video and audio piece that I'm doing with Sam Anthony from Your News, yournews.com. And excuse me, I've been in the broadcasting business my entire adult life. Shoot, I was actually on the radio when I was like 14, 15, but my first professional job, 19. And I love it, but I never had to worry about the video portion of things, right? Didn't get into television until later. So if you've ever worked or been involved in the production of a movie or a TV show, or even what this is, which is what most people would call an infomercial, information in the form, in long form. That's what this is with Sam Anthony today that I'm going to do. So I'm going to take you along for the ride. I'm going to talk to Sam a little bit, bring him in. And if you've watched any of the shows I do with Sam, he's fantastic. I always enjoy talking to him. He's fun. He's good conservative like we are. And he always has such great insight on things in a different take, in a different way than I do. So I like that. I appreciate that. I don't want everybody to just agree with me all the time. That'd be boring. So I'm going to bring Sam in now. Hello, buddy.
Charlie, how are you?
I'm borderline amazing. I have been enjoying some rainy weather out here on the West Coast, which we don't get all that often. So that's exciting. I'm sure they've been seeding the clouds and spraying it with all kinds of crap to make stuff happen, which is always fun too. How are things out in Florida where you are?
Well, it's
God's
sunny.
country.
It's beautiful. I mean, this is a good time of year. The winter time is always much nicer than the summertime. But I did get a chance to go play golf with my 80-year-old mother yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, 9 holes. We played 9 holes.
Fantastic.
She did great. She used to play a lot. I said, Mom, we got to go play some golf. Let's go play 9 holes. So her and I went out in the afternoon and shot 9. Then we went to the bar, drank tequila together. No, just kidding. She don't drink. But we have sunshine. It looks like they're supposed to have some front coming through, but it'll chill down tomorrow as we play golf. I think it'll be a high of like 67, which is unusual, but it'll warm back up. So I feel like I missed my calling as a weatherman. What do you think?
And a professional golfer.
Yeah, and I missed that calling a long time ago. That ship has sailed.
What Sam and I are going to be talking about is a platform that he created, which is unlike any other that I know of. They may be out there, but I don't know of them. I've never seen anything like it myself. I've been really excited about what he's doing from the beginning. I don't even remember who introduced us, but I'm grateful they did. Because you've got a platform that's bringing news to people, both locally, regionally, nationally, and even worldwide. I don't know of anybody else doing what you're doing because you're using people like me, broadcasters, podcasters, journalists, who find themselves without a voice, without a platform, unless they do their own podcast like I do. But you share revenue. You do what's called monetization for anybody who, like me, wants to continue putting a product out. You've given us a platform. So that's what the show is going to be about when we get into the infomercial. I hate to call it that, but that's basically the design of it. Something that you can use to promote yournews.com is what Sam and I are going to create. And I just wanted to bring you into the mix to show you kind of what it's like if you've never been involved in the production of this kind of thing.
You're speaking to your audience, but just so you know, I've never been involved in the production of this kind of thing either. So I'd like to see how it goes as well.
Yeah. I have prepared pre-written questions, which I normally never do. I never write out questions when I have guests on. I just go with the flow. But this will be fun. This will be fun.
And so we could also tell the audience when they're listening to this, the reason we're doing this is because our platform is the next mainstream media, 100%. What I do will replace the legacy media, and there's no question it will. It's just that they're all going to be gone. So what'll replace the legacy media will be a hyperlocal news platform, free speech platform that puts the power to press back in the hands of the people, where everybody can have a voice and everybody can be heard locally, along with a monetization model where content creators can, put up their work, share it on social media, and get a percentage of the ad revenue. And then, advertisers will be able to log in and buy their own ad and target it around the content that's relevant to their product. So everything I just described to you is being done on other platforms, just not around news. So we're the local newspaper in every city in America. It's important to note that, because there's still a demand for news. It's just how people consume it has changed. And our focus, which I'm hoping, which I'm pretty sure is the right way to go, is completely bypassing the old guard. We're focused on student journalists, because think about it. If I'm right and everybody agrees, including the mainstream media, they're not going to survive. Not to mention all the layoffs. Where the hell are the students going to go to work? Who's going to hire them? Right? So it's got to be a platform like mine. So we've just started focusing on student journalists. And now I showed Charlie, somebody earlier submitted, like 15, 20 minutes ago, just submitted a sports story, because he's a sports journalist out of ASU. And he just submitted an article, which is not his first one, but I took it nationally in our sports section. What he does is he'll share that out on his social media pages, and all of his people will come to us to consume his content. And that's it, except we could have millions of content creators because we're a platform, hyper local, and most of the news that we get is all hyper local news. So we're not doing the traditional route for capital raising, which is normally done through Silicon Valley, like in California, right? Where all the tech giants go through Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley will not fund a deal like mine because it's a free speech conservative platform.
Exactly
what I just said. And so to me, even if they would, they're going to bring in people like BlackRock and Vanguard. It's just how it's going to work.
Yep.
So what the focus for us, and this is where I say, if we're a news organization that's by the people, for the people need to own the product. It's the most important thing out of everything we do. And so we're doing something called an equity crowdfund. Now, the equity crowdfund allows you and everybody else to be able to participate, spend $200, $2,000, doesn't matter. It's you now could own shares in this, because this is funded by we the people. But the most important thing in this whole thing is, how do we distribute it to the masses? So it's one thing to be on a podcast with Charlie or anybody else I'm on, but what we're going to do is leverage conservative talk radio stations. And Charlie and I are going to put together, I should say Charlie's going to put it together. I'm going to do my best on my end. He has to do the editing. But then once we get something we like, that shows I could pick and choose any market in America and start airing this 30-minute infomercial to reach a broader audience, to explain this so that they could participate. All of I will tell you, we've had just in 90 days, 150 something thousand come in. It was about 140 or 50 investors. So figure about $1,000 a person on average, but they're all MAGA people. So our people are all people that are just fed up and disgusted and go, we need to control the next mainstream media. So for me, this is more cause driven. The money's going to be a byproduct of the success, But this, currently we have the White House, and we have the Senate, and we have the Congress. What we
Barely.
need, we're barely, but now what we need to secure is the next mainstream media.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do will be the next mainstream media. And that's where, we need to get that reach out there so we can bring in the proper capital to scale this into a behemoth. That's it.
You're doing what I've been saying we need to be doing for years now. With the advent and at the very beginning of the whole COVID thing, it was what really made me realize we're going to have to start taking care of ourselves. We're going to have to start coming up with our own platforms and our own ways to communicate with each other, because the media hates us, wants to silence us. I was looking at my own Facebook page, which I have I have almost 9,000 people just following the page and 5,000 friends on top of that. So that's over 13,000 people just on that one page. And my comments and the reactions, like with the little, like insignia or whatever, used to be in the hundreds and even thousands to whatever I would post. Now I'm lucky to get one or two reactions because I've been so silenced. I've been so shut down by Meta and clowns like that. They don't want people like me on their platforms getting information out. So we have to come up with our own way to communicate with each other and to get information to each other. And this is a perfect way. I love it.
Charlie, first of all, what was that movie I remember watching? Oh, it was with Mel Gibson, where the one guy, it was him and the black guy were cops. Uh-huh. And Mel Gibson told him, "I'll hate him back. It works for me." Remember? So when it comes to the mainstream media, first of all, I'm just amazed people even tune into it. So I don't know who that person is that's watching, but
yeah.
And so they've completely made themselves irrelevant. So anything they think and do, I'm just surprised they even allow them to go into the White House. I mean, any of these press conferences really need to be people like you. Those people are so obsolete. Bye. We don't need you anymore. Okay. Practice these words. Welcome to McDonald's, man. Take your order. Because that's about the only place that's going to be hiring you. Because I sure as hell ain't. They come to my website. They look to be monetized. I'm just going to go censor. And that's it.
And I see nothing wrong with that, considering they're doing the same thing to us.
No question. Who cares? I mean, so we already now control the masses, okay? Because 90% of the country's watching podcasts. They're not watching TV. So we already control most of the information. It's organizing it and bringing
to us. We're controlling most of the information to us. But you're presented a platform that's basically for everybody.
It's for everybody.
Because they're going to be able to get the sports like that. And as far as I'm concerned, although ESPN, now owned by Disney, has gone full on into politics, and it has killed them. It's killed their ratings. It's killed their popularity. But if they want to continue being stupid, more power to you, Disney. You deserve it. And the thing is, you're offering different ways for me to get information on many different things. And if they're conservative like me, fantastic. I'll probably enjoy it even more. But I don't even watch network news anymore. Period. I don't watch the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt because I know what they are. I know who they are. I know what they're all about. I know their agenda because I've been in that business my entire life. I know how dishonest and the government is their religion. And they want you to worship with them. And I'm not interested. So they have nothing for me. Even their network programming offers nothing for me. Look how everything is targeted with a skewed view. Even the Olympics, how much did they bring God and hatred of my country into the presentation of the Olympics on NBC?
I wouldn't even watch.
It was appalling. And I after just that first night, I watched the opening ceremonies and I went, this is demonic. This whole thing, I have no interest in watching any of it from this point forward. But you said 90% are getting their information from podcasters. I'm thinking that's very generous. I don't believe it's that much.
It might be, but
even of our own conservative bent, I don't think that enough of our own fellow conservatives are taking advantage of alternate media like this is enough. I still think that they're relying on the big networks and the news, including Fox.
I mean, some will. You're going to have the older generation that just can't kick the habit, but the younger generation, the people that are just fed up. Okay, you saw the map of the counties with the red and the blue. That's a message. We're done. Okay, so those people, trust me, are not watching CNN or MSNBC or ABC. Everybody knows that they're lying. And then you got Trump telling them every day, hey, can we hear from the other liar over there? I mean, it's like, it's just insulting in every way. And it's, we love it, but it's all but over. I mean, they're just basically being flushed down the toilet. You could just watch them go like this as they're going down. We're relevant.
We're relevant.
Yeah.
But we've always had the power.
Yeah, no, that ship has sailed. So this is where we want to own the next mainstream media. So keep in mind, you have places like Rumble, you have places like X, you have places like Patriot TV or Brighteon or any of these platforms, but they're not mainstream media. It's there to fight the political disinformation that's coming from the mainstream media. But something like a Patriot TV is not going to give you the high school football game in Beaumont, Montana. That's mainstream media. Okay. When you could do local news in every city in America. So it's not going to tell you about, the high-speed car crash in, Montana that, 2 people died in a high-speed. I mean, that's what we do. So it's actually true local news coming from boots on the ground, local news reporters. So that content is what drives an audience where then gives somebody like you, Charlie, more exposure. So when they pick me up and read it, all I got to do is turn to the CHARLEE Simons page, and there you are.
Yeah,
that's it.
Thank you for that. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's exciting, and I strongly believe you're right. It is the future, and it can't happen fast enough, as far as I'm concerned.
It's a slow death. This is like their stage 4 cancer, and they have another 18 to 24 months. But it's kind of nice to watch them die, don't you think? I mean, let's call it the way it is. I mean, if you could have one of those, you ever see those things that show the cameras that show the grass growing and they speed it up, right? So, I mean, wouldn't you just like to see that same camera on Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer as they're, and, just speed it up so they could get right to the grave? Okay, so bye. But, they're not going to leave office until they die in their chair. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
They're not quitters. They're
not quitters, which is so funny because those are the same people who are preaching against old white guys, but yet the majority of the left is full of old white guys. Their hypocrisy knows no bounds.
Well, let's hope Trump does something utterly unbelievable with these people. I want him to literally scare the living crap out of them. I'd love to see military walk in and snatch everybody by their hair and drag them out. That's what I'd like to see. That'd just be fun to watch,
The perp walk.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Oh, my God.
Because they have broken laws. And if you're thinking that sounds a little too harsh, remember, if it were you committing the kind of treasonous crimes that these people have done against the people of America and the world when it comes to the whole COVID thing, where would you be right now? You would be in prison. You would be prosecuted to the full extent of the crooked law. They would do everything. Look what they've done to the J6ers. So that's
a crime unto itself.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they should be prosecuting those people, not J6ers, but they should be prosecuting the people who wouldn't give them a fair and speedy trial. That's absolutely. Now, you want to know who deserves reparations? Those people do.
Yep.
Okay, and it should come right out of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer's freaking bank account.
Yes.
Joe Biden's. They should just rip here. You don't own this money anymore. They do. And here's the reason why.
Right.
I don't know. So I just can get pretty ferocious at times. So I need to scale it back a little, Charlie.
That's all right. That's why we have pre-written questions.
Right.
When we start this.
I did not pre-write my answers. So
when we start this, if we might have to do some starts and stops, or maybe I didn't like the way I asked the question, so I'll say let's shoot that again. So we're bringing you along for the ride with all of this. And thank you very much for sharing. If you could share right now, if you could like wherever you're watching this, like this, you'll be helping us. Sharing this, commenting. I got the chat room open now if you want to join us there. Let people know that we're doing this because I've never done anything like this. It's kind of fun. It's kind of exciting to me. And we can get started anytime you're ready, buddy.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Let me call up my questions here.
Well, first you have to do your intro.
My little intro. Yeah, I even have an intro written for me. Woohoo, look at me, fancy. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be the interview as recorded on the 20th day of December, 2024 at 10:52 a.m. Pacific time with Sam Anthony from yournews.com. And we'll kick it off with the intro. Excuse me. And here we go. In 5, 4, 3. Hello, my name is Charlie Simons, and I have a very exciting guest on my show today. His name is Sam Anthony. Sam runs a hyper-local news platform. What the heck is that? I'll let him explain it to you, but it's at yournews.com. And the platform allows citizen journalists to share stories freely without censorship and puts the power of the press back in the hands of the people where it belongs. So, Sam, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to take you out of the shot. I just decided I want you out of the shot.
Okay. I thought it was great.
For this portion. Stand by.
Sure.
See what I mean? We'll do this again. I think this will be better. Oh, and Sam, I also forgot there's going to be times that I'm going to bring you full screen like this when you're answering.
Okay.
So be a little bigger, come a little closer.
Better.
Let me see.
You can see if I got cavities in my mouth. I'm so close.
About that. Exactly. But I like it that way. Okay, that looks good. So there'll be times when you're answering, I'll take it to full screen like this. Just for the video presentation of it. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, stand by. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. In 5, 4, this is take 2, 3. Hello, I'm Charlie Simons. I got a very fun thing I'm doing. I get to actually introduce to you someone who's doing something I think that's an extraordinary thing that should have been done a long time ago, but nobody else is doing it quite like this. His name is Sam Anthony, and he runs what's called a hyper-local news platform. A what, who, where, when, how? Well, we'll let him tell you about it at yournews.com. But it allows citizen journalists to share stories freely without censorship and puts the power of the press back in the hands of the people where it belongs. And I don't think that we've ever really known that in the history of broadcasting. It's always been one person, one news anchor telling you everything. You have no response. You have no way of saying, wait a minute, what? What did you just say? Why did you say that? Why don't you explain that? No, we've never had that before until now. Hello, Sam Anthony. What's up, buddy?
How are you, Charlie? Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for being had. What do you think the whole misinformation problems? I keep hearing about misinformation and disinformation, which is basically made up words to describe something that they don't like. So do you think the misinformation problems we're facing today are from the mainstream media?
Charlie, 100% from the mainstream media. Okay, this anymore. So the mainstream media has been the main source of information forever. I mean, I don't even know the amount of years, but it's been a very long time. And nobody ever really had any way of not so much disproving, but going to another source. But today with technology like YouTube or Rumble, there's ways for information to get out to people, and it's called alternative news. And the reason the alternative news exists is simple. It's because the legacy media has been lying through their teeth for years. We all know it. The CIA and the Mockingbird things going on back in the 70s, they've even admitted it. I mean, you've got all the files on it. So yes, the disinformation that we've been receiving has been coming from the mainstream media for years.
In the mid-90s, President Bill Clinton championed the deregulation of ownership rules for the Federal Communications Commission. I said then this is going to be the end of radio and television as we know it. Unfortunately, I've been right. Do you agree? Has this whole media consolidation thing been part of the problem?
It's a massive part of the problem, because what that allowed, remember back in the 80s, there was over 400 independent news outlets, Charlie. Today there's 6. And the six companies are all run by billionaires, and they're all controlling the narrative. So that is the real reason we have the problem, or we're facing the problem we're in today, is because there's only 6 people that control the legacy media. There you go.
Do you believe mainstream media as we know it will survive?
Nobody believes it's going to survive, Charlie. And it's not because there's not a demand for news. As a matter of fact, the demand for news is greater than it's ever been. It's an antiquated product. So a lot of people think they're not going to survive because they've been lying to us. That has sped up the process. But at the end of the day, there's always technologies that replace industries. For example, there used to be something called the telegraph, and somebody created the telephone. There used to be something called the horse and buggy, and then somebody created the car. My point is there's always a product that replaces something else. The legacy media is an antiquated product that eventually will be replaced with a different delivery system. That delivery system is going to be the internet, but the old guard is not going to be part of it. It's going to be something completely different.
Well, you kind of answered the next question, which is, what do you think will replace the mainstream media? Is there anything that you could add to that?
Oh God. So first of all, I will tell you what will become the next mainstream media and replace the legacy media. It's got to be a platform. Remember, nothing local works on the web. And if you look at all the tech giants, Facebook, Amazon, LinkedIn, Uber, Netflix, they're all global. So you need a platform that can empower millions of people to be able to share stories freely without censorship. And the product that will ultimately replace the legacy media will be exactly what we do. What we are is a hyper-local news platform operating in every city in the United States with the ability to target ads right down to one zip code. So think of us as the local newspaper in every city in the United States. Now, Charlie, you've been in media for years, so you know what I'm telling you is accurate. News organizations are aggregators of information, meaning people that have news send what's called a press release to the media in that market. So if you're a nonprofit and you're having an event, you're going to send a press release to the radio, TV, and print in that market. News organizations aggregate that information, and then they decide what they're going to air or publish. And we both know 99% of the content that gets sent to the news media gets thrown in the garbage. Newspapers have a limited amount of space. You can't put everything in. Radio and TV have a limited amount of time. What our platform, yournews.com, is an online platform operating in every city in the United States. So because of our scale, we publish content by subject and geography, meaning I could make a story like your kid's Little League game appear in the sports section in one city. The high school football game, which is still sports news, gets distributed to what we call the market, which is typically television DMAs. And then obviously the Monday Night Football game, which is still sports news, gets distributed to all zip codes. So what we are is an information aggregator with mega scale. And what we're doing is taking all the content that flows out of the US, bringing it all under one umbrella and creating one uniform media.
Let's talk about trust.
Okay.
I can't speak for everyone else, but I don't trust the media, period. And I referenced it earlier, even Fox News. I don't really trust them. So there's a few still left on there, but the Tucker Carlsons, the Steve Hilton, the Dan Bonginos of Fox News have been removed from that platform. And what's left? I mean, you got a few left. Jesse Waters, I think. Laura Ingraham is a good one. There's a few. But I don't trust any of it anymore. Mm-hmm. How can something that's coming from citizen journalists like me elicit more trust again in the information that's being put out there through yournews.com?
That is a great question, Charlie.
Thank you. I just made that one up.
I know you did, and I think it's really good, and the public needs to know this. So as a journalist, what is the main thing that you have that you can't function without? And I'll tell you what it is. It's your integrity, right? It's honesty. People need to trust you. Well, you have an audience of followers that people follow you because they've already picked you as their source for news, and they trust if Charlie's bringing something to us, then it's credible. So you need credibility in the media industry. What we do is we take a content creator that's a news reporter that has a following, and it's their job to build their audience with people that trust them. That content creator is great at producing content, but horrible at selling advertising because that's not what they do. So that content creator gets a monetized account on our platform. They come on and they submit the article to us. We publish that article to the subject and geography it's relevant to. And when that article gets published, they share the link to their followers on their social media pages, to the people who already trust them, Charlie. They come to us to consume the content, which is the article they were looking to read anyway. And then we sell the advertising and they get a percentage of the ad revenue around the content that they've generated.
And what specific innovations or strategies will your platform employ to ensure that it succeeds where mainstream media has failed?
Well, I think the fact that we're on the internet is of this.
My apologies. Can you start that again? That was me.
Yeah.
I messed that up.
That's okay. Ask the question again.
Okay. Here we go. What specific innovations or strategies will your platform employ to ensure it succeeds where mainstream media has failed?
Good question, Charlie. So the legacy media is already on its way out. And the reason for that is it's how people consume information, which we talked about.
My mistake. Let's start that again.
Sure. And you could keep yourself in the screen.
Thank you, by the way, for watching. Well, because I want to make sure I get the next question right, so I'm going over there and checking that out. So here we go again, one more time. Okay. And I'm going to put it full screen on you since I already have me asking the question. I'm going to leave it like this. What specific innovations or strategies will your platform employ to ensure it succeeds where mainstream media has failed?
Charlie, that's a great question. So the mainstream media is already failing, and even if they were telling the truth, it would still fail anyway. The reason is you've been in the media business. The physical cost to produce that content, think of radio with all the towers and the distribution and all the people that it takes to be able to deliver that information just down to your car, let's say, or to your radio. It's astronomical. And now technology exists where somebody in their house with a phone can become a news reporter, and they could go out on the street and cover local news stories. So what we do will ultimately become the next mainstream media. It's our technology and how we deliver information. It's really the internet with the ability to organize content. So there's an ocean of content out there on the internet, and there's no possible way that you're going to be able to find every single thing that's out there. All our platform does is organize all that, so it makes it much easier to find. We have the different categories like a newspaper, sports, business, politics, entertainment, world, US. We have lifestyle, travel, faith, food and wine, home and garden. I mean, these are just some of the categories that we have. And so the content creators will give you their information freely simply because they're looking for broader distribution and exposure for their content. Now, the fact that you monetize it makes it even better. So the technology that we have will ultimately become the next mainstream media, Charlie.
When Trump served as president the first time, all the networks, including Fox, was putting up fact checkers, fact checking this, fact checking that, and the newspapers the next day fact checking things that were said. Unless, of course, you're on the left, and once Biden took office, suddenly all the fact checkers went away. Now, do you have to be concerned about that? And if so, how do you fact check?
Good question. Our platform is self-policed. And here's what I mean by that. The content creators, we remember we talked about this, the only thing you have is your credibility. If you're a journalist, the last thing you want to do is lie to somebody, because the moment you lie to somebody, it's over. So if a journalist is not telling the truth and they're putting out fake news, who's going to know better than the people that live in that community? So they will let us know. We will look into it. And if somebody made a mistake, well, that could easily be fixed. If somebody's lying intentionally and it's something that never happened, it was manufactured, we'll just get rid of them. So it's really, the internet is self-policing, Charlie. The public will always let you know.
Good point. Especially when in your platform, you can actually comment. You can participate in it that way too. Almost like how newspapers always had an editorial section, although you always had somebody deciding what questions were going to make it into their editorial questions. So even that was censored with newspapers for years now. But how do people participate? How do we, if not as a content creator, how do we get involved if we see a financial possibility of benefiting from what you're building?
That's a good question. There's three ways people can participate. The first way is if you have aspirations of becoming a news reporter. If you go log into yournews.com, at the bottom of the page, there's something that says become a citizen journalist, where you can click on that link. You can fill out an application, and you could become a local news reporter in your community, covering certain things. It could be events. It could be the city council meeting. It could be the new school that just opened, or whatever local news is happening in the area. You could become your own local news reporter. The second way would be you could be a reader if you're not interested in becoming a news reporter. The third way, which to me is extremely important, and this is why I really wanted to get this information out, is what we do will become the next mainstream media. Currently, we have the White House, the Congress, and the Senate. We, the people, need to own the next mainstream media. Charlie, I couldn't stress this enough. If the media hadn't lied over the last 8 years, none of the stuff we saw would have existed. Nothing that Congress would have pulled. And we're talking about everything from the Russian disinformation and Trump's a Russian asset to the Hunter Biden laptop, which Joe Biden said didn't exist, but all of a sudden pardoned his kid for it. Okay. If that doesn't infuriate you, I don't know what would. All of that stuff, the media did not talk about, but you had new media telling you exactly what it was. I mean, hell, I saw the video with Hunter Biden, that laptop. So we got to see all that stuff. So normally companies like mine get funded through Silicon Valley. So if you look at Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Uber, eBay, not only are they all global, but they were all funded out of Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is not going to play with us. And if they did, they would bring in people like BlackRock and Vanguard, which nobody wants. So we did something different. When you sell, we're doing a private placement. And when you sell stock via a private placement, you can only sell to what's called accredited investors, which means you have to have a specific net worth. And basically, it's 1% of the population can participate. There's something called an equity crowd fund, Charlie. And the way equity crowd funds work is you're still buying stock. So everything's done through a broker dealer. The company we're using is called Issuance Express, and they're owned by North Capital Partners. But the way it works is everybody can participate and buy stock. And we made the price for buying stock in the company as little as $200. Somebody can participate, because here's the reason why we're doing this. I can't come to you and tell you we're a news organization that's for the people, by the people. We're putting the power of the press back in the hands of the people, Charlie. Oh, by the way, we're owned by BlackRock and Vanguard. Okay, that's not going to fly. So if we're truly going to be a news organization that's for the people, by the people, Charlie, shouldn't the people own the product? So we're going direct to we the people, and that's how this movement is being funded, by we the people.
That is truly exciting. And I believe that that is also the future. And that's going to add to the success of more of this alternative media, which I hope becomes mainstream. I hope you're absolutely right with that. It's got to. But Angel Studios comes to mind. They're producing great movies now, and their quality has just gotten better and better and better. And they're crowdfunded.
Yeah.
That's how they started, and they're
Yeah.
still doing it. You can participate in. They've got a movie coming out in just a week that looks fantastic, and it was all people like me investing in it and being a part of it, and you get a return for that. You get a guaranteed return back on your investment. That is the future, as far as I'm concerned, if we're going to
Exactly.
survive in any way. Because you're right, the whole mainstream and the Wall Streets and all these clowns, Vanguard, State Street, all these BlackRock are just wicked, run by wicked people.
No question,
And
Charlie.
they're going to maintain and cling and claw and scratch and fight and cheat to stay where they are until we finally wake up and go, forget them, bypass all of that. I'm going directly to the people I like. I'm supporting the candidates I like. I'm sending them some money, some investment in my future by putting my money in something that I want to see grow, like yournews.com. That's exciting. How do we do that?
Charlie, it is exciting. I'm happy that we're actually doing it this way. I believe this is what's going to propel us into the stratospheres. The way people can make an investment is they would just go to yournews.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's something that says invest, where they can click on that. It'll take you to our equity crowdfund page, where you could watch a video, you could learn all about it, and if it's something you like, you can set up an account there and make an investment, and you could spend as little as $200. The whole reason we're doing this is we want to put this in as many hands as we can get. I would rather have 5,000 people give me $1,000 than one guy give me 5 billion, Charlie, because who am I beholden to? You see what I mean?
If we haven't experienced it ourselves, we've read about somebody else who's experienced investing in something like this, and then the guy who started it all took the money and ran. Moved to Brazil and took the millions, and nothing ever came of our investment. Are there guarantees against that? How can I trust that this is not a similar situation? I mean, I know you, but not everybody does. I trust you, but how can we be guaranteed that that's not going to happen?
Well, when you set up an equity crowd fund, it's all done through a broker dealer, which means it took I think about 7 months to get this going. So you had lawyers, background checks, everything, because at the end of the day, if I run off with the money, the brokerage firm is actually liable. They're not liable if I fail and just don't do it. But if I steal the money, they're going to say, well, why didn't you do a background check on this guy? So all that stuff has been done, Charlie. It's an issue people should always be concerned with, but it's not an issue here. There's no reason why I would want to run off with any of that money. The interest is in getting this company public, which I plan to do within the next 12 months.
I got to tell you, Sam is driven, and it's a higher calling. I really believe that, because what you've created, what you're building, and what you're working now to make it grow to the next level is exciting. And I want it to succeed. I want it to do great things. I want us to start having a way to communicate with each other like we've never known before. And as far as I'm concerned, that's what yournews.com is all about. Anything else you want to tell us or leave us with or encourage us with?
I do. The legacy media has been laying people off over the last, I don't know, 7, 8 years. As a matter of fact, on LinkedIn, if you type in freelance journalist, you have to use LinkedIn Navigator, but there's almost 500,000 people out of work. Now, what we're focusing on is not the old guard, because I don't believe the old guard is going to participate in new media. We're focused on the student journalists that are in school, that are passionate about journalism and reporting. And there's almost 200,000 of them on LinkedIn. So whereas the legacy media has been declining, Charlie, do you know that we have almost 470 news reporters on our platform? And next year, my goal is to get north of 5,000, which, by the way, will make us the largest news organization in the world. Not all of them are going to be students, but many of them will, because they need a place to go. Think about it. If the legacy media is going to collapse, like I say it's going to collapse, where are these kids going to go get a job when they get out of school? Nobody's hiring. So we're bringing them in now where we can train them and we could teach them how to do this and how to become local news reporters. And they'll get real world experience. This to me is extremely important because number one, they were not part of the problem to begin with. Number two, their minds are there. They're like not jelly, but you can train these people on how to put out the proper news rather than put opinion pieces out. So this to me, I think is very important that we do this. We've already started the process. There's almost a couple 100,000 on LinkedIn, and just to pick up 5,000 won't really be that big of an effort.
It's exciting. It's a great thing. And it's going to be fun to watch it grow. And I do believe it is going to grow to huge proportions, as it should, because you're replacing something that has been ensconced in our lives, our entire lifetime. That's all we've ever known is the mainstream media. I mean, I'm old enough. I'm one of the old guys. I'm not a student. And I'm excited to have a platform because I'm one of those that has been railroaded and run out of mainstream media. I've been canceled. I've been let go because of my conservative take on things. And in the media, you're not welcome there unless you're, one of those few conservative talk show hosts. Other than that, there's no place for people like me. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. I love being part of the alternative media now. It's a very exciting thing. So people can find local content. That's what's exciting about what you do. You just put in your zip code, right? And you can have local content only on what you're reading and seeing, right?
Be national and local news. There's a national category and there's a local category. And so we're in the process of building the largest news organization in the world. Keep in mind, the younger generation, which we spoke about, won't have anywhere to go. And these are the people that are coming up, and I'm sure, I've thought of it and I'm going, where the hell are these kids going to get work going? How are they going to get a job? And then one day it hit me. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to them. And Charlie, I'm going to tell you something that you already know because you were in the business. You used to wake up in the morning, open up the paper, and you know how you always saw the same people, the reporters that were writing the stories. You could have a politics guy, a sports guy, and that would be your trusted go-to source. When you got home from work, after you had a meal, you turned on the local television, you got the local news. It's the same people. All those people are going away. So the exciting part for student journalists is they're going to be the ones to replace the old guard. So the new person is going to be the younger generation that covers the city council meeting or the high school football game or goes to the school board meeting and covers that. That's going to be your next go-to person for local news. That's where it's all headed. And these people are passionate about news reporting. So and they know the internet better than everybody else. So these are going to be the next go-to people in the local market for local news, and we will have hundreds of thousands of them producing content.
You use a term called hyperlocal. And
Mhm.
I think that's exactly what you're talking about. But the fact that I can also get regional, just West Coast, where I am,
Mhm.
or national or world news all in one place. Um, the only thing that ever offered that in the past was basically newspapers. Newspapers are all but dead. I'm surprised that many of them are still even in business. They've been propped up by a fake government that's continuing to spend money on those platforms and public radio and public television, which is nothing but a voice for the left. They're not serving us. They're certainly not serving the people of the United States of America. It's all agenda driven and needs to go away. There's nothing I would love to see more. I hope President Trump follows through and defunds. If you're going to defund anything, don't make it the police department. Make it NPR, National Public Radio, and those clowns.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah, they're obsolete, Charlie. As I've been saying, they're completely obsolete. So, what we do, make no mistake about it, will replace the legacy media. It will be a platform. It'll truly put the power of the press back in the hands of the people where it belongs. And it won't be the old guard that participates. And by the way, that's throughout history. When Bell created the telephone, the first people he went to was the telegraph people. They laughed him out of the room. Nobody's ever going to use one of these, is what they told him. I saw the documentary. And so he had to go, that's why they created all the bells, Southern Bell, Illinois Bell, Pac Bell. So he franchised it. Okay. That's how it worked. And so that's how he got the money to be able to scale that out. What we're doing is we're crowdfunding this. We're allowing the public to own the stock in the company, not private equity. That's the most important piece right there, is we the people. This is a movement funded by we the people.
One more time, we want to be involved, not just as a journalist, but as an investor. We want to be a part of this. We want to see this turn into something as huge as I know it's going to be. Where do we go to do that?
Log into yournews.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there's a button down there that you can click on that says invest. It will take you to our equity crowdfund page. There's a ton of content about what we're going to be doing, how it's going to work. There's a 3-minute video you can watch that explains this. And if you like what you hear or what you see, you can make an investment. It's that simple.
Sam is an entrepreneur. And I respect and admire entrepreneurs, but what makes you a cut above is the fact that you're actually giving a voice to conservatives and to everybody in a way that most people have not, because they're agenda driven. I think you're fantastic. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing what you're doing with us here on my show, Do Not Talk, rumble.com/DoNotTalk. You want to follow along with what I'm doing? I'd love to have you on board. Follow that page, please. Like this video there. Click that like button, or as podcasters keep saying, smash that like button. So smash it. Whatever you have to do, just like it and share it. Share this so that others will see there's another way, there's another voice, there's another platform. And this is where I'm going to go to get my information from now on. And I hope you do too. Thank you, Sam Anthony at yournews.com.
Thank you for having me, Charlie.
Absolutely. Okay. For editing purposes. Oh yeah. For editing purposes, I'll throw this in when we get to post, as they say. Is there something that I might have left out or didn't ask you about that you want to cover? If so, tell me that, and I'll form it in a question.
Yeah, well, all right. So there was one thing I was thinking about after the fact. I went, crap, I should have said that. But because we can edit and move stuff around, and it's now I just got to think of what it was. But it was important. It was, I think we were talking about the students. It's the content creators. Maybe I did say it. I doubt I did, though. No, I had something, and then it just comes in your mind and out, right? That's but if I If I think of it, I'll let you know. I mean, we could just keep talking. We have time to continue to talk because as
Yeah.
you start flowing, we may talk because you should be asking me different questions for yourself that I could expand upon because I'm a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this industry. Everything else, I'm a moron, but I'm a genius in my own topic, but I have no idea what everything else is. By the way, for the record, you guys and people like you are the ones that are battling the misinformation, and you're the ones that were censored. You were the ones that that basically took all the hits. And I'm the guy that just create a platform. And you've heard me say it before, if you and I were developers and we built a football stadium, we can't play in the NFL. But if we bring the teams in, that's what's called the draw, and people stand outside, and we sell them the tickets and all the concessions inside. You guys have been taking the brunt of this. I can assure you it's going to get better. It just can't not, because the legacy media has even kind of just went, what the hell just happened? And even though they'll never admit that they were wrong, and they just have no clue what reality is, I just think that they're going into their own bubble. I think that people have just shut them down. They're tired of them, and nobody really wants anything to do with them. So they're in their own echo chamber. The reality is, when you take all the conservative podcasters out there and you put all their numbers together, it dwarfs mainstream media. It dwarfs it. So that's why I'm saying it's, as the older generation dies, the younger generation is not watching TV that way. They're not listening to radio that way. They use this. They get it on their phone, or, I always say I have a friend that's 61. He picks me up every weekend to play golf, and he's got a podcast he's listening to. So this is in the sleeve. It's plugged into the car, and he's listening to conservative podcasts in his freaking car. And that's where it's all going. I even TV. I mean, do you even turn on TV other than just to watch Netflix or whatever you're going to watch, some movie? I mean, it's so much easier just to buy Paramount Plus for $10 a month and watch the shows without any ads on them. And you're watching it. So like an example would be, we just started watching that Landman. Have you been watching that at all? Landman? It's fantastic. 6 episodes, but I think that's like the whole damn season. I don't know if they're doing, but I waited. We watched all 6 episodes. There's no more left. I don't know when the next ones are coming up, but you could wait a whole season. You could binge watch it in freaking 3 days and you're done. You don't have to wait around. So that is more appealing to the consumer than to be a slave to the TV going, is it 7 o'clock yet? Because I got to wait. Our show's going to be on, right? It's all moving in that direction. You guys are the ones that are going to become the next mainstream media. You just need a platform. And that's where your news comes in, because you can't go to Patriot TV and find out about your kid's Little League game or the high school football game or the bank robbery that happened, or the rooftop bar that just opened up in New York. None of that stuff they're going to publish simply because it's not relevant to their audience. With me, it could be hyper focused to one city. I mean, how many people care about the city council meeting in Schaumburg, Illinois? I'm going to tell you, just the residents of Schaumburg, Illinois. So that's political news in Schaumburg, is my point. So it's just the distribution of content and how we organize it all. And that's why at the end of the day, this becomes the next mainstream media, because CHARLEE Simons is never going to report about the Schaumburg city council meeting. It's not relevant. You live somewhere else. You may report about yours, but that's not national news.
Right.
That's my point. So it's understanding how all this information needs to be organized. And basically, I'm just organizing the damn internet, Charlie. That's all I'm doing. I'm organizing it: art and entertainment, and art and culture, entertainment news, baseball, hockey, soccer, basketball. I could do local, national, it doesn't matter. And now all my content's coming in from the new citizen journalists that have just signed up. And we've signed up just in the last 10 days, probably 50 news reporters How many news outlets have hired 50 people in the last 10 days?
No one. They're not hiring. They're firing.
Okay, did you hear what I just said? I've got
Yeah.
50 new ones.
That's
Guess what?
awesome.
I am going to hit this so hard next year that we'll be probably picking up 500-600 a month. It'll be a full-time gig.
Joy Reid from MSNBC was just told that you're going to have to take a massive pay cut if you're going to continue on the air with us. So you might be having Joy Reid hit you up. What would you say to her if she came over and wanted to be part of yournews.com?
Oh, God. I would have to create a fake news section. And she... and then we would be happy to have her. For all the people who want the fake shit, they just go right in that section right there.
That's brilliant. Fake news category. That's beautiful. That's fun. I love it. I'm excited about it. I want to see it grow, and I hope that you'll go there, yournews.com. I hope you'll participate. If not, at least enjoy the content there, benefit from it, utilize it, and talk about it. That's a great way you can help Sam grow what he's building here is by sharing it with others. Have you seen I'm seeing you referenced with national breaking news stories now. It just happened recently with something that was going on at the border. And our mutual friend, Kim Yater, took somebody who had, she got it off of yournews.com and actually had whoever wrote the story on her show. And I'm like, this is fantastic, man, because we got to share. We got to share. Hey, there's a new way. Here's where you get your information. Here's where you go, yournews.com. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome. We need broader, not only broader reach, which we're getting, but we also need the shareholder distribution to be bigger. It's, I don't care if it's $200, $1,000, doesn't matter. I want 10,000 people to own this thing on this round. We won't get it. We'll get probably 5,000, but I want as many people to have this in their hands, because what that basically does is this to BlackRock. I don't need you. All I can tell you is look up Public Square, Michael Seifert. Look up how much stock Vanguard owns in Public Square. It's 38%. Okay. So, and here's why. It's because they did a SPAC. The way SPACs work is the brokerage firms fill up the SPACs and they don't go to people for $200. They go to the institutions and they say, this company's going public. Here's what it does. And then those big players put in millions. It's easier. It's a lot easier to ask somebody for 50 million than to ask somebody for $50. Okay. Because the 50 million is not personal to them, but the $50 is personal to that person. There's your difference. You had to work.
Are they, when it doesn't work, are these investors able to write off these losses like a gambling debt?
Sure. Yeah. So there's no reason why this is not going to work, Charlie. And I'm not telling people I guarantee it. I'm telling you, it already is working. I've picked up 460 freaking news reporters. Okay. It's already working. It's now, how do we take it to another level? That next level is going to require more people. So I just picked up, which I told you about, somebody named Anna, who is now on our team, that is going to head up not only ad sales, but she deals with podcasters already. So it's just going to be moving more content creators on the platform and then different ways to monetize them. And so she's going to be bringing these affiliate programs with different advertisers. But part of that deal is they have to buy an ad with us in order to be part of our affiliate program. And then we'll work that with I've got 150 plus of you, Charlie, on here. And I could get that to 100,000. It doesn't matter. So that's the key. It's called scale. And those content creators are going to be coming on. So the more content you bring on, the bigger your audience grows. Again, once you've aggregated all the content, it's over. You are the next mainstream media. And everybody will give you their content freely. Then you talk about the monetization side. Remember, once you've aggregated all the content, you get all the readers. Once you get all the readers, what do you get? All the freaking advertisers. Okay. I don't need Pfizer. I don't need any of the big brands. All the money's made off the little guys because our ads are on a best bid basis, which means that my ad will pull a 5-cent ad before it pulls a 1-cent ad for that spot. National ads run around a penny. Joe's Pizza is going to spend about a dime. buy one zip code, and we could target right down to one zip code. So it's already happening. That's why I keep saying this is not something that I'm guessing. I hope it already works. Let's take it to the next level. And that's going to require people, because here's what happens when content comes in, there's an approval process. We don't check for validity, could care less. Okay. The public will let us know if somebody's lying. And did I ever tell you a story about when that happened one time?
No.
Freaking hilarious. North Palm Beach, Florida, these kids were putting up their little league games. Okay. And they photos, writing stories, and, so-and-so beat so-and-so. Well, one day, one of the kids decided to flip the script because they lost, but they said they won. Okay. And emails and postings, this is not true. We beat them. Okay. So it was meaningless. It was nothing. But, how would we know who beat who?
Well, to them, it wasn't nothing. To them, it was certainly not meaningless. It had great meaning, because
right.
These were
but
kids.
It wasn't like coming from the White House as fake news, right? This is just fake news for one little city in a little league game, which immediately was sent to us. And, it was kind of comical because all these kids were like pissed off. This is not true. So, we just removed it and let them post the right one. That's all. So the public will always let you know if you want to know. And by the way, you were correct. There no longer is any fact checking anymore. Once Biden got in, there was no reason. The only reason you needed it is when they did the debate, so they could fact check everything. I can't even believe Trump even got in a freaking debate with these things. Yeah. I would be way more abusive than he would. I mean, he's toned he's toned it down a lot.
That was amazing how he handled all of that. But I'll never forget him going, I don't know what he just said there, and I'm not sure if he knows it either. That was brilliant. I'll never forget that. Sam just mentioned something I want to bring up. And it was the death knell for media as we know it, news reporting in general. He mentioned Pfizer. Mm-hmm. Even at the time when the whole deregulation of ownership rules happened, which I knew was a huge mistake, I said then big corporations are going to own these media outlets because they're bottom line interested, because they're beholden to stockholders, aren't they now? These big, huge corporations. Mm-hmm. So they are going to continue to try and grow monetarily. That's what drives them and pushes them is oh, come on, Spike. Come on, boy. What's your dog's name? Come on, Spike.
Mickey.
Meet Spike.
With an M. See, Spike? Look.
Oh, Mickey. Meet Spike. Look at this dog. Look at this dog.
That. He was doing the same thing to me. And your dog's a little Chihuahua.
He's mix. A Doberman Pinscher, miniature Doberman Pinscher Chihuahua mix.
This is Mickey's got terrier Chihuahua. He's got a little Chihuahua in him. Look, he's licking me too. See? Come here. What are you doing?
These dogs, I can't imagine life without dogs. This guy was a little rescue. Let me tell you a quick Spike story. If anyone knows California, they know that basically one of the greatest cesspools in the entire state is the city of Oakland. They've done it to themselves. They deserve what's happening to them because they continue to put pieces of crap into positions of tremendous power who have ruined their own city. But they've lost the Raiders, they've lost the Warriors, and they lost the Oakland A's now. Everybody's gone. But this little guy was a pack of wild dogs running around the streets of Oakland. This guy was a gangsta. And they rounded him up and about a dozen other dogs like him that were strays running in a pack. And the SPCA of Solano County rescued all of them, and they were able to quickly adopt them out because everybody likes these little, Chihuahua mixes. And except this one. They were not able to adopt him out because he was so mean. And he really was. He was a little jerk. He was a little fighter. So now look at him. And that's what love does. That's what love does. You love an animal. You let them be part of your life. You let them be part of the pack. You're the pack leader. They are going to give you tremendous.
Tell me about that pack leader, because right now he's the leader of the pack. Everything he wants, he gets. And he just bugs me until he gets it, right? Is that
Look
what
at
you're
him.
saying?
He's fantastic. How old is he?
I think he's 10.
Yeah, I think that's about what this guy is. He was an adult when I got him, but I've had him 8 years now, and he's got the gray going now and all that. But anyway, back to what I was saying about Pfizer and the big advertisers now control content
Mm-hmm.
because there's no way that even Fox News, brought to you by Pfizer, is going to report on some horrific thing that they're forcing onto us without consequence, thanks to, unfortunately, the Republicans in the 80s making it to where these big drug corporations are immune from prosecution or from anybody bringing lawsuits against them for some kind of poison they're peddling as a cure-all. That's one thing I sure hope that President Trump changes. I
I hope
really
so
hope he changes that.
because they shouldn't be advertising to begin with. Because, like you said, now, I mean, if if Pfizer's your biggest advertiser and you lose that account, you're screwed because their audiences have diminished dramatically, and that's all you have left. So it's if RFK Jr., because remember he said he wants to outlaw it, can he do that? I mean, is he going to be in a power just to say you no longer can run ads on television or radio?
I hope so, because that's how it used to be. They opened it up for doctors too. You could not advertise as a doctor, but then they changed that too. So you have everybody vying for your health, and they all have a way to fix a problem. They're not interested in curing it. They just want to limp you along and put a Band-Aid on it. And if it turns out to be some kind of horrific scam or something that's even harming us, like the COVID vaccine,
Well,
um,
you can't
you
say
can't
anything
even
about
turn
it.
around and sue them. You can't even. They're immune from prosecution. He's a good boy. So that's another great thing about what you're doing. These big
He's climbing.
these big advertisers and these big corporate sponsors are not going to have that kind of power over you.
No, because all ads are on a best bid basis, Charlie. So the national guy could buy a national ad appearing in every zip code, but they're never going to pay 10 cents or 20 cents for an ad. We charge 20 cents for a zip code. Well, in Chicago, Illinois has like 100 zip codes. Los Angeles is like 150. I mean, how many people are possibly going to be reading the sports page in that one zip code? My point is, even at 20 cents, what are you spending? $20 a month? It's okay. But for me, I'm getting 20 cents instead of 1 cent. So the little guys ultimately, which by the way, that's the reverse of media, because Home Depot spends more money than Joe's Pizza, but not in my case. The way this works is the little guy trumps the big guy. It's not the other way around. That's the unusual part. So this truly is a win-win-win for everybody, because not only does it put the power of the press in the hands of the people, but it allows the little guy to get the best position on ad placement for marketing their products. And that is unusual, because you can't, as a little, a business owner, you can't afford to buy radio. Number one, it's probably overkill if you're only doing business in a couple of zip codes. But it's expensive as hell to do radio ads in a local market, especially if you're on a station with reach. And so, they even say, I mean, you got to be spending like, $4 or $5 grand a month. Well, the little guys can't do that. So, with us, they could spend $50, $100, whatever their budget is. Whereas you can't do that on radio. It's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. But now with platforms, and it's not just ours, I mean, you could spend $20 on a platform if you wanted to. It's just how many eyeballs do you want to see your ad? That's it. Nothing more.
Sam just made a great point. I've been in the radio business my entire life, and I never said this when I was actually in the business, because it would have made sure I got instantly fired. It's amazingly ineffective. And he's right. You, as a local, family-owned, unoperated business, spending thousands of dollars to do some sort of ad campaign that some sales guy guaranteed you all these results, and we'll do a remote broadcast from your business, and it'll bring all kinds of people in, and then it doesn't, 12, 13 come in, but they came in because of the freebies that the DJ was giving away. That doesn't mean that they're going to come back to your business, even now that they know you're there, because people are price driven now, especially in this economy more than ever. We got to save money wherever and whenever we can. So they're not going to go back to some mom and pop when they think they can get a better deal at some big bloated corporation. I wish it weren't that way. I wish people would buy local and support local. And I say it again and again and again, but unfortunately, the majority don't.
Yeah,
So
right.
Sam's right. You spend you're running your little pizzeria joint, and you're spending $3,000 to do an ad camp, a 3-week ad campaign, and you're putting all your eggs in that basket. But you're just in one little area. That makes you a destination. You don't have a whole chain of stores. You've got just that one. That makes you a destination, even in the next town over, that people have to go there to try it. Will they return? Not if they have to drive far to go get something that's, it might be a little bit better than Pizza Hut, but in a rush and they want it delivered, they're going to go to the Pizza Hut, I hate to say. So you just spent a lot of money on a radio advertising campaign, reaching a huge audience. At least it used to be huge. And you're just that one little guy in one little area that people aren't really going to go to. It's very ineffective. Newspaper is still one effective way of doing it, because you can cut out a coupon. But even then, people who have done coupon campaigns have complained that, they all come in, they all get their freebie, or all get their 2-for-1, but then they don't come back. It didn't increase my business after that initial rush. They don't come back. Television. How effective is TV for a little independently owned and operated business? Not at all. So you're offering all of the above, but being hyper local, as you say, I can narrowcast just in my zip code, and that's exciting. And I think it's going to work. I think it already is working very well.
It already does. I mean, we just can target ads to a specific geography and around specific type of content that you think would be relevant to your product. A simple one is golf. So if somebody's reading a golf story, I'd say there's a 100% chance they play, because nobody would be reading golf, right? And so if you put an ad around there, I mean, that's your target customer. What I have the ability to do is run it to a specific geography. And then radio, to me, radio works really good if there's some event going on.
Right.
Like if the fair is coming in town, right? You let the masses know. I think it's really effective at that. I think it's really effective. But it's also, it's for them, they're trying to get 50,000 people to go to the fair at, $10 a pop, and they'll make their money back off their investment. But certainly not somebody who owns a pizza place. It's just way too cost effective. So that's where Valpak comes in, because they send a coupon out and they can target to a specific geography right into your home, right? In our case, we do the same thing, but we could target right down to the zip codes that people would walk in with the coupon. It's up to you to have a website for your marketing that is compelling enough to get people to buy your product. It really is. That is your digital marketing piece. It's who you are. So if you want to have a coupon, that coupon is going to come right from your website. And now you need to drive traffic to the website. So the ad could say, Joe's Pizza, 2-for-1 coupon, click here. That's it. And then, so it goes to their site. Anybody that's got a website has to market that product. And we can do that targeted and cost effective for that person. So that's why as the masses are on the platforms, the money is leaving the traditional media to go to the platforms where the people are. This is not rocket science. I mean, if I'm Home Depot, their budget is, I think, over $1 billion a year
in advertising.
Hold on, I'm going to do this with you. Where do you see this? I'm gonna.
I mean, what kind of return must they get to be able to put $1 billion into advertising per year?
Yeah, hold on.
Holy cow!
So hold on.
I don't think most of us even realize the enormity of $1 billion. Okay, I'll bring it up. Here we go. I'm sharing the screen.
How much
He's
does Home
looking
Depot?
spend per year on advertising.
Let's see. 1.1 billion. See it?
Gee whiz.
Okay. So, I mean, I told you I'm not making this up. Let me stop my share. Oh, you did it, or
Yeah, I did.
we'll do this. Okay. I guess I have to undo it. Okay, so that my point is they have to spend the money where the people are, but the internet is basically trading dollars for pennies. So what would cost them $1 billion would cost like a couple $100 million on the web. So it basically puts, big money in their pocket. So they're going to be looking to deploy that in other areas. It's just more cost effective. That's all it is.
And that's why these big corporations have actually advertising campaigns targeted strictly towards social media. But social media is dying away too, isn't it? At least the ones that are censoring and deleting people like me.
Well, when you have
Facebook doesn't have the eyeballs that they used to have.
No, but they
Instagram
buy
doesn't
every
have the
single
eyeballs they
thing
used
that
to have.
comes out. They buy
What's that?
everything that comes, every new platform they buy, they own. So if somebody creates the next robust platform that everybody's migrating to, Facebook will buy it.
Good point.
It's like having the hottest bar in town, but eventually the people are going to go to another place. They're going to get tired of it. They want to do something different. Well, if you own all the bars in town, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's smart for them to buy them all. It's just a shame they're all woke. So let's hope Trump can make them liable or culpable for all their actions, where they actually can have lawsuits put on them. And I think there'll be some massive class actions. And I think
Well,
you should
there's also currently laws in place for owning, and cornering in a monopoly. There's laws in place. How come Google was able to purchase YouTube? How come Facebook was able to purchase Instagram? And you're right, they consolidate and they buy up the little platforms and they own it and they ruin it.
because at the time they weren't mega giants and they were hemorrhaging money, and it was just a business decision. Then they built them into behemoths because they had the capital resources to be able to weather through the storm and go from the red to the black. And now they own these superpowers. And so that's probably one of the reasons they played ball with the government, was because they didn't want to be broken up.
It's been fun watching Zuckerberg turn around and start sucking up to Trump. He literally met with him at Mar-a-Lago. That's
I'd like to
amazing.
know. I would have loved to have been there, because to me, I think that guy should be sitting in jail somewhere in Guantanamo Bay, and Trump should go visit him and bring him like a turkey sandwich or something. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are things here?
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Anything else just for editing purposes? Because I got plenty to work with here. But is there
You do?
anything
I
that
just want you to create something amazing that will be effective. If you need me to say something again, like, go over something again, let me know. It's really, I think most of the material you have, I certainly would like to add, while the legacy media is dying, we have picked up over 460 or 70 news reporters. And next year we're expected to, my interest is in bringing on 5,000 or 6,000 new ones. I can do more. It's just, I won't be able to handle the influx of content coming in.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get a huge staff going there.
Well, that's what's going to happen, is you're going to need market editors. And we already have a system in place where I could, what county are you in? What market?
Let's just say NorCal.
Northern California. Okay, so whatever the market is, like you have San Diego, you have Los Angeles, Los Angeles, the market's huge because it's even Orange County. But we could set up market editors where they control specific markets, and they get a percentage of the ad revenue from every article they approve. Isn't that interesting?
That's brilliant, is what that is.
It's already set up, Charlie.
I love this. I love the whole idea about sharing. You're sharing as we're all helping you grow. You're sharing the growth with us, and that's
so Yeah, so I can actually make you a market editor. And then anything coming into your market is under your control. And then your job is to approve those articles and distribute them to the proper category. So eventually I'll have 200 of you. And then those people will be, anything coming in, their accounts tied to that content. So you might have 100 articles come in your market today, but you're not getting the same percentage that the content creators are, but you're making, even if you're getting 1% off everybody, you have 100 people you're making because they're sharing their stuff on social media and you're making making it off 100 people. It's not an MLM. Have I ever shown you this back end?
No.
You want a treat? I'll show it to you real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Articles. So here, you see what I'm looking at?
I do know.
See how there's 4 pending right here? I'm looking for them here. Health Ranger. So this is Mike Adams. Okay. So his team submitted these. But to show you how this works, I could remember you have the 210 television DMAs. So if I want something to go to the Chicago market, it goes to all the counties that are relevant to the TV market for Chicago. If I wanted it to go to Los Angeles, it'll go to the Los Angeles market. If I wanted to go to New York, there's 200 of them. If I wanted to go to Albuquerque, it'll go to the market, not the city, the freaking market, which some of these are huge. Now, the interesting part is if I want less distribution, like let's say Florida. So let's say the story is Governor DeSantis signs bill into law. Well, nobody in California cares, right? That'd be Gavin Newsom. You see this add button? This is every zip code in the state of Florida. So I could assign it to the state. And if it's the governor, it's going to be tagged to the politics section. So it'll run statewide in politics. But I can go even more granular. I could say, well, I just want it to be Palm Beach. And now see how it just pulls the Palm Beach?
Yeah.
And so I could hit add and I could grab another county if you wanted it in 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. So that could be the high school. Well, the high school football game would be a market, but I could go more granular and I could just pick a city like Boca Raton. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So somebody's Little League game is going to be sports news for Boca Raton. If it's a city council meeting, it goes in politics for just these zip codes. Here's the cool part. As an advertiser, they can actually remove zip codes. I can make an ad appear in 1 zip. Is that crazy?
That's huge.
It's huge.
That's where it benefits the little mom and pops who would have to spend thousands of dollars on a radio station or something, talking to a whole bunch of people who will never drive to their place. That is fantastic.
They could spend $20 with me. And you could target just 1 zip code, and then you select the content you want your ad to run around.
Man.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome. So what that is.
So that's what I've been sharing with you. Now, when it comes to users, you see this citizen journalist, I said it was 460, so it's 463. Subscribers would be PR firms, nonprofits, 3,700 of them, right? So these are the monetized people. So if I pick this person here, Sarah Thomas, Sarah's a subscriber. I can make her a citizen journalist. I can make her a market editor, which means she controls the market. And then what I do is I come down here and I pick wherever the hell I have to put her as citizen journalist first. So if I was going to set Sarah up as a market editor, wherever the hell that is, or even a citizen journalist, but I'll do market editor. The next step is what market? See them all?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to change any of that. So the market editor will be able to see all content. Like right now, these stories pending review. There's 4. So here's 1 from Austin, Texas. Here's 2 from Austin, Texas. So this comes in from Mike Adams. And if you were the market editor for Austin, Texas, you would handle those. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then the citizen. Yeah. So it's, I don't know how I stop. Oh, here, stop sharing.
I hope you're not giving away trade secrets to somebody else.
Doesn't matter. It's too freaking late. By the time you build this thing, kiss your ass goodbye. It's over. I don't even know why you would. Just buy stock. You'll own it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
There you
I
go.
mean, yeah. And if you like it enough, buy it all. So, that's all you do. You still need somebody to work it. I still have over 5 million people on the site. So you got too big of a building process. You need to jump on it, the train that's already built and moving, not try and build your own freaking train, because then you have to actually build your own tracks and everything else. It's not worth it.
Right.
Just grab the one that's already moving down the track and jump on that one and just buy yourself a car. That's all you got to do.
How long has it taken you to get to this point? When did this all start?
I started it as an idea. Okay. So me and a couple guys got together in 2001, right before 9/11. And we believed that the mainstream media was going to be gone. Nobody bought that story. I remember having conversations with people and I'm telling them there's not going to be a newspaper, and them telling me you're out of your mind. It'll never happen. Those same people now are going, they still print these things, and I said, well, remember when I told you that it would go away? No, I don't remember that. So, but that was the idea. So then it was you had to build it. We screwed it up. We built it again. We screwed it up. We built it again. Then it was the model we had was the affiliate network of independent radio stations that had news departments. Those eventually fell apart. Then it was like, and then it was finally monetization, which means it had to be rebuilt again. And so now this is the core. This isn't going away. So this is the model. So now those people that are the 170,000 student journalists on LinkedIn are going to be my main focus for next year. And the money's really going to be in the market editors. That's where the money's going to be. But the market editors have to be, they can't pick a conservative side or a liberal side. They have to run everything as long as it's not horse shit. Okay. You have a lot of SEO people that are throwing stuff in from other countries. I just get rid of it. I just delete it.
For anyone who doesn't know, what's an SEO?
Search engine optimization. So what they do is they look for places to get their hyperlinks in because it makes them more relevant in Google. And I truly don't have a problem with that, except if it's a dry cleaner in London. What the hell do I care? Okay. If it was a dry cleaner in San Diego, I'd say, okay, let's run this in San Diego. But, when it's completely irrelevant, nobody's ever going to buy the product. It's, you physically can't buy their services because it's in another country across the ocean. It's not really worth it.
See, that's brilliant, because there are other websites they'll take in anything. You spend money, we'll put you on. Doesn't matter.
Well, they don't give me any money. So they just want publicity. They want the backlink. And I don't give them the backlink simply because the people reading will never be able to use their product. It's like, why? Go put that shit up in the UK, right? This is I'm telling you, it's actually a dry cleaner. I've seen them, and it's a dry cleaner in the UK, and maybe they have multiple locations. You think I'm going to read the article? No. Okay. But it has their backlinks going to them and how great they clean your clothes. Well, where are they? And then it's like 006, the number for country code. Nobody's going to use it. So why bother publishing it? Because it's completely irrelevant. And if I was looking at it, I would say, why is somebody printing this? This is not, I can understand if it was a local, in Darien, Illinois. Sure.
And that's where these online services are losing trust, or at least not developing and gaining trust. Because if I encounter that, I'm like, these people will just take anybody. This makes no sense. Why is this here? Forget them. But that's me.
Yeah. With our platform, it's going to be people like you. It's going to be the local news reporters that are running around have got to get their own credibility. They've got to earn the trust of the people. I'm just the freaking platform. It's they have to earn their own trust and respect, and they have to do that by putting out information and growing their social media pages. Right. It's just how it's going to work. But at the end of the day, if they can pull that off, they'll start to make some serious money. So in the beginning, they need real world experience. This is why my focus is on the students. And one of the things I want to do with these students is create online classes, seminars where people like you can get up and talk to them, because you're more qualified than me. The only thing I know is how my system works. But I've never been a journalist. I will never be a journalist. It's not what I do. I just own a platform. Okay. It's different. You have real-time, radio experience, TV experience, media experience. You'll forget more than I'll ever know when it comes to this. So you would be somebody that you could have, as we onboard more, we could start doing seminars. You have to pick up like what the topic's going to be. So when you send an email through the database, it's going to be, we're doing a seminar on how you can, I'm going to make it up, earn more money, or how you can report more effective news that grabs a broader audience so you can monetize more and make more money. I had this, Charlie, this is worth talking about. There's a young kid named, I'm looking for his name in my emails here, so give me 1 second. And I will find it quick, I promise. I think his name's Gregory. So his name's Greg, and Greg sent me an email. Now, Greg goes to a university in New York, and he's studying journalism. And I want you to hear this. It says, "Dear editorial team," he doesn't know who I am.
Right.
"I hope this message finds you well. I'm reaching out to seek your advice on how to increase the visibility and reach of my articles within your publication. I would greatly appreciate any tips, strategies, or insights your team could share about gaining more publicity for my work. Are there particular approaches or submission practices you recommend that might enhance engagement and readership? Thank you for your guidance, and I look forward to learning from your expertise." Okay,
Smart kid.
Smart. Oh, this is, so I said, the first thing I'm thinking of is, I don't have any expertise. He's asking the wrong guy. But I went, holy crap, this guy is going somewhere. I mean, I've never had anybody send me an email like that. So I reached out and said, I'd like to have a conversation with you. He's like, great. So, he said, I'm in class right now. I'll text you, or not text you, I'll email you when I'm out. So then he emailed me. So we started having a conversation, and he's a conservative. I'm guessing he's 20. I didn't ask his age.
In New York.
In New York. Okay. Oh, and I'll tell you how I know. Because I said to him, Greg, just so we're clear, this is a free speech platform, because in my opinion, democracy will end without free speech. And he went, I completely agree. Because that, so I mean, immediately I knew. And then he started talking about Trump and how he's glad Trump won. And, so we didn't have to go any further. But he said, Sam, I what advice can you give me? And I said, well, I'm not a journalist, but I know that if you're writing about things that matter to the masses, you'll get more people engaged, because if it's something big, it's like on a show, you have Sam Anthony on, you're going to get 6 people. If you have Donald Trump on, you're going to get 600,000. So, that's how it works. So I said to him, you need to write a story about somebody that has big reach, that's impactful, that person could get behind. And he said, well, I'm interested in writing a story about Mark Fincham and how, him being okay. Now this is not even I'm not making this up.
I just had him on like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go through these emails. I'm looking for the one he sent me. I just left voicemail because I said, wow, you are. He says, so he emails me. Hi, Sam. I hope this email finds you well. Great speaking with you last week about my interest in writing an article about Mark Fincham and his vision for Arizona. I truly appreciate your insights and your willingness to assist in facilitating an interview with him. As we discussed, I aim to highlight how Arizona stands to benefit from his leadership, delving into key aspects that resonate with the community. Your help in reaching out or connecting me with the right context for this interview would be valuable. Please let me know the next steps. And so I'm like, wow. So I call Mark. I'm like, Mark, and Mark was 2 days ago. He was headed to some party, and I'm like, Mark, I got to read you these emails, okay? Because this kid wants to write an article about you, and I'm impressed. And Mark's like, absolutely. You send him my number. You tell him to text me first. And you tell him that I'll get back to him and we'll have. So I don't know what happened after that, but Mark was like, yes, let's get this done. So I thought that was really cool. So you're going to get when they say the cream rises to the top, well, there you go. That's how it starts. So all of a sudden, this kid who's in college is now doing interviews with senators. And what are the other kids doing? Can I get another shot of tequila? Right? I mean, that's how it starts. So I was one of the other kids. Look at me now.
Look at you now.
Yeah.
Thank you, my friend. I sure appreciate your time, my man. Go get them.
Well,
Yournews.com.
are you going to be able to produce something from the material we have that's powerful?
I believe I have enough material to do it. Yeah.
26 minutes, 30 seconds. How much is it?
We've been on for an hour and 40 minutes, Sam. Yeah,
well,
I think
I know that. I mean, in because this is not content for the show, at least I don't think. But it's what we did. If there's enough good material there, if we need to expand on something, because I still think the student journalist thing is really powerful, and the fact that you saw him 462 or 7, I don't remember what it was, 460 news reporters, and the legacy media is going this way, and we're just hiring.
Yep.
So that'll tell you, well, I'm going to have this next conversation with you and I'm going to have 1,000. Then what? Right. And then 5,000. Okay. Where are we going? I mean, the train is left is my point. So this is where capital resources become important. And then maybe one day you could be one of my market editors. Just keep that in the back of your head. All you got to do is make sure you don't censor stuff unless it's for the right reasons, crimes, and that you put the shit in the right category.
Yeah.
If it's a golf story, it does not go in baseball.
Right.
I'm quite certain you could figure that out.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. I will talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, Charlie. Thank you so much. How long will this take you to do, you think?
I'm going to get to work on it right away.
Okay. So by tomorrow, maybe it'll be teasing you. Look, you got a freaking week. Okay. So, let's see what you come up with. See if you call me, if you need me to add something, we can get on one of these things and,
I will.
I can spew more garbage out of my mouth. Very good at it. And thank you, Stephanie. I hope you enjoyed this. Two friends just having a conversation. We should have brought Stephanie in here so she could have been on the show too, talking to us.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you, Charlie. Bye.
There you go. It's a golden opportunity for everybody involved, whether you're an investor or an actual contributor. Yournews.com. Everything you need to know, just scroll down to the bottom of the page and just take it from there, but make it a part of your life. Make it a part of your life. Your every day. Let's check the news. Let's see what's going on locally. Let's see who won that game. That's where you're going to find it. Or you can wait for the newspaper and actually try and buy one and hope that it's going to be in there. Radio's not going to be talking about it. Television's not going to talk about it. You can get it all right there in one place. And that's exciting to me. And I love being a part of it. I have a page there too. Spell my name like that, CHARLEE Simons, CHARLEE, and you'll find me at yournews.com. I've got a lot of shows posted on there too. And you can find me at rumble.com/DoNotTalk, rumble.com/DoNotTalk. And you want to financially help me grow and support this show, that'd be a tremendous blessing. Venmo.com/DoNotTalk. Venmo.com/DoNotTalk. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America bless God.